Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a really important game for the footy club, and I'm not sure how Essendon rate it, but North Melbourne people certainly love playing Essendon. It's a great rivalry that we have. So any win against Essendon is a really good one, from our point of view. So, but in terms of the way our team played, I thought we set the game up well early, and to their credit, they really fought back really hard in the face of a fair bit of adversity too, because I suspect they had a few injury concerns throughout the game. So they lost Hocking obviously, but they looked like a couple of other players had minor injuries as well. So for them to run the game out as hard as they did, I thought was a credit to them. And for our guys, I think it does show character when you're in front all day. You look to be controlling the game, but then the opposition get a sniff and they get back in front for that short period of time, and it shows character to be able to hold on and come back, despite the circumstances.
Sorry, and you'd lost some close ones as well, obviously.
Yeah, we had. So you find the cream rises to the top though in those situations, and I think a couple of Brent Harvey's efforts, when the game was on the line, and Daniel Wells' ability to go back with the flight of the ball and mark the ball in crucial contests. I thought, they're really showing the way for our young players who, a lot of people talk about and we get excited about too, but I think our leaders are really starting to show the way for those young guys in terms of exactly how you've got to perform when the pressure's on, and the heat's on, and in a close game.
I think you talked about some Wells earlier this year about he didn't deserve some of the raps and so on, but he seems to have taken up to a new level, just being a really consistent player.
Yeah, he has, and we no longer try and get the ball to Wellesley. Our instruction to Wellesley is just to go out and win the ball for us, and he's become a really complete midfielder in that he can win even amount of ball inside or outside. Everyone knows how damaging he can be when he gets the ball in space, but his ability to win the ball in crucial contests in the air and on the ground is really important. I still think his best footy's ahead of him. That's how highly we rate him, even though he's been terrific this year.
Is Petrie another one of those leaders who've shown the way?
Oh, absolutely. Aaron Edwards and Drew Petrie and Cam Pedersen today, really led as our key forwards. They really led from the front, and I don't think you'll see. I think they probably had 12, 13, 14 possessions each, but we thought they were really dominant on the day and really important because all three of them competed exceptionally well, and whether they won the contest or not, they either won it or halved it more often than not. So I thought that was really important in bringing our ground level players into the game. And when Fletcher started on Lee Adams at the beginning of the game, we knew that was how the game was going to unfold. Was it Fletcher's influence as a tall back there? Was he going to be dominant, or were we going to be able to bring the ball to ground enough to bring our smalls into it? So I thought we did that reasonably well.
I think it's getting Pedersen down there pretty important from that point of view, and then with the goals and kick in the contested marks, that almost looked notice.
Yeah, it is, because the fundamentals of what we wanted to do as a forward, in terms of our forward structure, he did well, but he's a really good player one-on-one, and he's quicker than appearances suggest. So he's been knocking the door down all year, and we're in the fortunate position, and in a position we haven't been in for a long time, where we have genuine selection dilemmas now. So in the past we've been looking for other players to fill a void. Now we've got players who deserve their spot in the side, and when we think Daniel Pratt's a first choice defender. We think that Cam Richardson can only get the ball 40 times at VFL level so many times before we've got to bring him in. But we've got a lot of players, Matty Campbell, who probably would think they're in our best 22, but that's going to present a real problem for match committee.
You were, I think, 2 and 7 at one point. They were coming to wake you from seemingly everywhere. How have you?
Yeah.
I mean, you've 3 in a row. You've got a real head of steam up. How have you, looking back just ever so slightly, how have you sort of turned it around?
Well, I always say that people think that it's something you drastically change and things turn around. Really, we've just been working really hard on the fundamentals of the game. We knew from the things that we look at really closely that we weren't far away. We just had to add a bit more polish to our game. And, I'm under no illusions here today that Essendon, I think, had 30 scoring shots to our 26. So, it's nice to sit here, in victory when we kicked accurately and the opposition didn't. So, they had their chances probably to win the game. And they didn't take them, and that's been us at various stages this year. So we felt that our improvement's been fairly constant, but we just hadn't been getting results when we were 2-7. Now we're starting to see some results, which is pleasing for the club.
So you must be reasonably confident about what you can do for the rest of the year, given the injuries you had earlier. As you say, you're getting some selection issues here, and getting to string things together.
Yeah, well, there haven't been too many occasions since I've been coach where we've been able to get that nucleus of the midfield all together and out there playing at the same time. I think Jack Siebel's, becoming a really important player for us, and we always mention the same names: Greenwood, Bastanak, Anthony, Wells, Swallow, but we haven't had them all together very often. And now we're starting to get that. So, if ever there is a time for North Melbourne supporters to get out, join up as members, come down and watch these young kids play, because they're going to do you proud for the next few years at least. So, we as a club we need to get to 30,000 members. We need our supporters to join up. And what better time to join up when we think we're starting to play some good footy and the young kids are starting to step up to the plate.
What did you make of the Delaney hocking clash of bodies?
From my vantage point, and I haven't watched the replay, I thought it was a genuine attempt to smother the ball. So, but again, I haven't got the luxury of going back and watching the specific incident, but just live as it unfolded, that's what I thought happened.
Just with Petrie, would he be your, from outside perception, but would he be your most structurally important player? It just seems that his presence, like the stats are not high, but the presence that he seems to have on the game is significant.
Look, footy's getting more and more to the point where we tend to look as a football community at disposals, at the column disposals, and then rate who is the best player on the ground. I mean, I mentioned before, our key forwards had 12, 13, 14 possessions each, but they were really dominant. We thought they were really important. So, we didn't have Drew for the whole year last year, and I use the analogy that, look, I'm loath to compare forwards against forwards. So, but I thought he was important to us structurally as Nick Rewald is to St Kilda. Now, I'm not comparing them talent-wise or anything like that, but in terms of your structure, your side, that's the level of importance. So to have him back and leading that forward line is fantastic.
Hassel was told after the game he seemed to hurt his ankle.
Yeah, just I think we saw that landing awkwardly in that marking contest and rolling his ankle. It's look, he's pretty sore, but I think he's a sore because they strapped him up so tightly so he wouldn't do any damage. But he's a really important player to us, and it was really important that he stood up and played the game out, because with the absence of Hamish McIntosh all year, he's been vitally important to us. So we won't take any risks with him because he's so important, but we'll get him scanned and make sure he's okay for next week.
If he didn't come up for next week, would there be any chance at all you would consider Hamish, or does he really need some very long time before?
No, Hamish needs to play. He hasn't. I mean, he's been training, but he hasn't, even done much contesting work yet. So he'll need to get out and play at VFL level. I mean, we're really pleased with Drew and Cam Pedersen. If we need to go, that way, we know we can do that.
Any other injuries?
Not that I'm aware of. No. Yep. Okay. Thanks, guys.